All right, we live. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Bernard?
I don't know. Look like you out having a nice little walk, brother.
I am out actually. I'm uh, out here in at the Hyatt here in New Orleans. I just took a little break from doing things. It's Valentine's Day weekend and trying to enjoy myself. Although right now,
Okay. Well, that's what's going
everything
on.
in this area.
I got some friends in New Orleans right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
Oh, and what is
how's
it?
everything going?
Everything is going good, man. I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing just as good as can be, brother. Um,
That's
just
good.
been watching the dog and phony show, but I hadn't had you on in a while, and I had to discuss about HR 127.
Yeah, I know we were going to be talking about HR 127. We talked about it on the other show. So, what you want to talk about? What you want? You want to
Um,
specifically
I just
start with
want to
that?
just we got to keep on hammering down on how dangerous this is.
Yeah. Well, I still have a. I'm holding out hope right now. Excuse me. I'm just getting me something from the machine. I'm holding out hope right now, based off what I saw today with regards to this impeachment that was going on. Now, let me be clear. I don't endorse Donald Trump. I didn't agree necessarily with the rhetoric that he has said and done. However, in the letter of the law, I understand why they put an acquittal. Now, some people, especially if you talk to the average person, they won't understand that. I had someone where I put on my Facebook earlier today, I said, so we got to pay all of this money for that. We're footing the bill because these guys went forward with an impeachment that even in the news articles they stated that they were not going to get. They were not going to be able to get an impeachment on Donald Trump. And we're talking about millions of dollars that have been spent on this nonsense that wasn't going to go through. I'm saying, look, you needed 67 votes. They only got 57 out of 43. So that's not the two-thirds majority that they needed. They had predicted before that. So relating it to what's going on with HR 127, uh, that bill, and I'm sure we've talked about it before. Have you explained to your listeners, your audience, what that bill is about?
Yes, but I got some new listeners today from
Okay.
doing it with the thing with the great Albanaya Shakur Queen. Shout out to
Queen
her.
Ahmadiyya Shakur. Yeah, I was watching it. Shout
Yeah,
out to
she
her. Shout out to the Royals. Yeah, she has a great following. Beautiful sister, nice lady.
yeah, she is.
But that bill, yeah. So HR 127, we were on her show talking about that too. So this bill and why it's dangerous is that first off, it implements gun. It's one of the stringent forms of gun control that will befall the United States of America if it's passed. The bill in and of itself what was presented and authored by Sheila Jackson Lee. And to be honest, those people, even though they have their names on it, they don't write those bills. Half of them don't even, I'm willing to bet, majority of them don't even read the bills that come through. Even John Conyers said that on Fahrenheit 9/11. We don't read the bills that they get passed through, and that's sadly why most of those things get passed through Congress. Uh, what this bill will do, sadly, is it takes away your Second Amendment rights, but it also, well, and by let me be clear, it strips your Second Amendment, slowly strips your Second Amendment rights because you can still own a gun, but it impedes on it because, as you know, the Second Amendment says a well-regulated militia uh, for the purposes of a free state the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed, right? So infringement by its definition means impulsion, an impulsion, an imposement of of some sorts, something that heeds. When you're talking about infringing, you mean you're stopping, you're impeding. That's what it basically means, an impediment. So by putting a requirement that you're going to have to register your firearms, you're going to have certain ammunition is going to be banned, certain guns will be banned. You have to pay the attorney general $800, pay the attorney general a licensing fee. You're going to also have to pay a $800 worth of insurance that you're going to have to provide. You're also talking about getting a psychiatric evaluation that you don't even pay. That's going to cost money in and of itself. Those are issues that we all have not addressed, and it's going to cost the American people more than it is going to cost this United States government. Our Fourth Amendment rights are also at stake, as well as our Fifth Amendment rights. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fifth Amendment protects you or gives you the right against self-incrimination, protects you from double jeopardy as well. Well, in that bill, you are required to tell the government exactly where you put your gun in your own home, how it's safely stored. You're also required to tell them who you will be loaning that out to, so your family members would have to get their information. You're also talking about under the Fourth Amendment issue, there is the unreasonable search and seizure, because if I'm telling the government where my firearm is, then by rule, I'm actually giving you a search, because that's what it constitutes. It's also a Fifth Amendment violation, because if I don't tell you where my guns are, then you're saying I could be convicted of a felony, because this is what this bill essentially does. It provides a felony conviction in federal prison from this passage if you don't tell them the guns and your ammo. So, uh, and by law, I don't really have to tell you, because if I told you, or I told you that, yes, I hid this, yes, I'm not telling you anything, then I'm ratting on myself. The Fifth Amendment says I have a right not to do that. You have to prove that I've committed a crime and and prove that burden beyond a reasonable doubt. So somebody said, Donald said, I'm bouncing around. I'm wondering if there's anything wrong with the live stream. Can you see me well, brother?
I can see you. I see you.
You can hear me good?
I don't. He might be talking about the maybe the sound or something. I'm not sure, but I'm not worried.
Okay.
But but
Well,
but, but let me
I, I'm
let me
not in
put
my
something in
I'm
there.
not in the hotel room. I'm just sitting here in the lobby, so I see people pass by, but not I'm keeping my distance from everything. So
It's all right. Now let me get to something that you were just saying here, because I'm going to bring something to light here that happened.
okay.
Okay, yeah, seven Republicans. One Republican, Richard Burr, who's not from North Carolina, came out and actually said that he voted against the Constitution, and he knew it. But he said that the Senate sets a precedent, and the precedent was impeachment, so he didn't run along with it, even though he said he violated the Constitution. And when I said after what happened with the election, they about to start going after the Constitution in a big way, and that's exactly what they've been doing.
Mhm.
Um, with the capital
And
thing,
this can bite them. This can bite them back in their ass too, Bernard.
yeah, well, that's
If the
right.
Republicans take over, if the Republicans take over, and the Democrats, let's say they have a scandal now, because there's stuff with Biden, as Judge has pointed out, with the laptop with his son, all of that stuff is coming to, all of that stuff currently is, from what Judge says, is under a grand jury indictment. That's a proceeding. So be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it.
Well, there was a lot of things that went on, and one thing I said. The tables turned after Trump's lawyers started playing the videos of the Democrats as well. That was another thing that went wrong. Now, if you notice something, that after they started playing all those videos, the news media cut the impeachment off and they went to C-SPAN and PBS because they didn't want to show their own deficiencies of what they were saying. Also, today they tried to bring witnesses in, and when they said, "Well, we want to subpoena Nancy Pelosi and other people," they said, "Oh no, we're just gonna close arguments," because once you open up the rabbit hole, I mean, hey, now I'm gonna put you on a carpet, and you've been saying a lot of things, and you got more stuff on them than they got on Trump. So
Yeah.
So be careful what you wish for.
Right. Well, the other thing too about it is that right, and I think the other thing I pointed out, I wasn't really paying attention to the impeachment, although I got alerts because I knew it was going to be a waste of time. But I did
Yeah,
see how they waived having even the witnesses appear. Like this, which meant if they had the witnesses appear, it would have extended the trial even further. And they all agreed eventually, okay, well, we'll do away with the witnesses. So they weren't going to have that. The other thing, too, that I noticed was that the attorney for Trump that you're talking about, just coincidentally, he was the prosecutor, the original prosecutor in the Bill Cosby case, Bruce Castor. And uh, yes, his attorneys, they put on the videos basically showing the Democrats saying some of the same things. Judge talked about what they were doing with uh, Maxine Waters, comments that were made by her, comments that were made by others, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, look, even the girl AOC, she just recently said a couple of months ago that anybody that voted for Donald Trump needs to be in re-education camps. What she basically is saying is that what's implied is you talk about concentration camps because that's the
that's
only
right.
type of internment camp that I know of in American history and world history. The Japanese were put in internment camps, and internment was basically concentration. Same thing would happen with the Jews over in Germany, and it wasn't just the Jews as well. The Ryland bastards as well as other people who didn't fit the Aryan, blue-eyed race that Hitler's ideology espoused. So we have to be very careful at what we're seeing. We need to pay attention to what's going on. Uh, you know, everybody, I told people, and some people were like, well, earlier today about the impeachment. Well, it's money well spent. One lady that I know of, and look, I grew up, in the church. I grew up with with elderly people, so I know them personally. But a lot of our elders have led us down the wrong path, and some of them have no backbone. I'm just gonna be real with it. A lot of them settle for symbolism and chicken bones, and dance and all of this stuff, and they get caught up in emotionalism and symbolism. Well, I should just say emotions and symbolism, excuse me, pardon my vernacular. But, this thing here, we're talking about millions of dollars that were spent. You're saying, well, it proves something that the whole world could see. Yeah, see what? See that y'all know how to waste time and money? Because that's all that happened with it. If it wasn't going to be no real change, regardless of how I feel about Donald Trump, I didn't care for the impeachment. He was already out of office. That's another thing. How do you impeach somebody that's out of office? Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense.
So
I
we
was trying to
wasted.
find this thing.
We wasted how much money did we waste that the taxpayers will have to fit for this impeachment?
Okay, this is what I said on earlier. Just as I said, you cannot convict without evidence, and he not in office. How can he impeach? Oh, by the way, if anybody died at the Capitol or nobody died at the Capitol, can you show me the death certificates? BLM and Antifa already said on November 4th on Twitter they were going to do it. It was a stage show, once again. But of course, 85% of the population is deaf, dumb, and blind. And I say that when we get stupid people out the way, we can win. But the black grassroots is waking up. Not the civil rights brainwashed people who believe in the fake media. And by the way, the ratings suck. That's what I said. The ratings
You talking
sucked.
about CNN?
Yeah, the ratings sucked as a whole because won't nobody buying it.
Well,
And
you
that's
know,
why I said,
yeah, the ratings suck on the show. CNN is basically high glorified. It's not infotainment. Uh, it's it's entertainment. At one point, I think the only time CNN actually had respectable journalists on there was when Bernard Shaw and Larry King were there. Larry King was a great journalist. He dealt with facts. Things like this that we're seeing. I remember seeing a video I shared online how ESPN made fake news with regards to the Iraqi war. So CNN has been a joke for a long time. That's Ted Turner's biggest mistake, I think, aside from marrying Jane Fonda. But but no, CNN, their ratings suck. They're actually lost a network out of uh, CNN Airport news station. They're shutting down in March, if I'm not mistaken. They're
that's
going
right.
bankrupt. Yeah, they're losing ratings. The CEO of CNN, Jeff Zucker, I believe he's stepping down. Zucker, there's an interesting caveat with Zucker. Zucker and Bill Cosby do not like each other. And Zucker even made a comment that, you know, something along the lines that he could do whatever he wanted to get rid of Bill Cosby. He does not like him. Uh, and Andrew Wyatt has said that. Remember when this whole thing with Cosby was starting, CNN put that hit piece out called "The Case Against Cosby." You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really like watching Cosby. I mean CNN. Although my parents, when they're here, when they got it turned on, I gotta go in another room because I just don't like watching it. I gotta go
Well,
in another room. I don't like seeing it. I trust. You know who I would watch? I would watch C-SPAN. I rely more on C-SPAN. Uh, I would say the Associated Press, but even they have their issues. But there's no corporation, I don't believe, that owns the Associated Press, so they're a little bit better. But New Black Media is even the best place now to get your news.
that's right.
You go to Tariq Nasheed, I go to Ron Hurd, We All Be News. I come to my channel where I'm reporting and giving my
That's right.
opinion and stuff. Queen Amadaya, Nicole's View. I go to stuff like that. I don't, these corporations, these puppets, I've had enough of them. And everybody else should. News, the main principle in journalism, Bernard, is journalistic integrity. You're not supposed to be biased in your reporting. Regardless if you don't like Donald Trump, regardless if you don't like Joe Biden, I expect fairness. Call things how I see it. Call it what the truth is at the end of the day. We can handle the rest and the consequences after that. News media, when they try to go and do things on an entertainment basis, it causes problems and it's distrust in the public. And that's what you say today.
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, you had a CNN anchor come out, no, MSNBC anchor. One thing she said, this should be terrifying right here, actually. She said on national TV, COVID deniers and Trump supporters should be classified as domestic terrorists, and they should, just like under Obama's policy and the Bush policy, they should be dropped drones on. She said this on national TV.
This
But
is an MSNBC anchor.
yeah, I think her name is Nicole Wallace. Matter of fact, I know her
Yeah,
name, Nicole.
they're the same as CNN.
Yeah,
MSNBC. I mean, look, I remember MSNBC's covered after Kobe Bryant died, and you had that woman, was it Brzezinski, who made the comment about Kobe playing for the Los Angeles. She said knackers, but it sounded definitely like she said niggers. And they got Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Du Sharpton, to come out and defend her. And Sharpton has a show on MSNBC. Honestly, I don't even know what time it is.
let me
They
say
put
something about
him
that. I'm glad you mentioned shopping.
they put
I'm
him
glad
on at
you
6 o'clock in the morning.
I'm glad that, I'm glad you mentioned shopping because I was talking to a friend earlier and I was telling her Al Sharpton. Matter of fact, she's in the chat. I think her name is Dawson, but she's in the chat. But anyway, I was telling her Lou Dobbs who had #1 rated show on Fox Business, got canceled. But Al Sharpton still has a show, and Al Sharpton's ratings have sucked. So what sense do that make? You know, you got a guy with a high rated show that didn't.
Because he's there to push he's there to push propaganda.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like I said, really to tell you the truth, like I said, if you listen to Al Sharpton in 2021, I mean, unless you're older, like, and don't have access to information, which you still can get because Judge is 73 years old, he has access to information. If you can't see through Al Sharpton by now, I don't have nothing to tell you. I mean, he's a complete joke. He's a Negro coon, whisperer, puppet, whatever you want to call him, but he fits all those categories.
Sharpton, well, look, Sharpton, me and Sean James, we talk about it all the time. He was criticizing Donald Trump about all of this stuff, but yet you have video online. I shared this where Sharpton got arrested, and I believe Donald Trump paid his bail money to get out in the 1980s. He had that scandal with Tawana Brawley that went south. He had papers came out that he was an informant for the FBI. He had ties with the mob. I have no respect or anything to deal with Al Sharpton. He's actually visited the White House, I believe, more than any other black leader outside, and I use that term lightly.
So-called.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is because Frederick Douglass and Dr. King, who are black leaders, actually met, I think, more than Sharpton did, or Sharpton may have surpassed that. But Sharpton visited the White House under Barack Obama's reign more than any of those two gentlemen. Frederick Douglass going to the White House with Abraham Lincoln, and Martin Luther King going when Lyndon Johnson and John F. Kennedy were in the White House respectively. So I think they push him and put him out there so that he can push whatever agenda they have. Because Valerie Jarrett, who was the White House correspondent, I think Barack Obama's chief of staff, I had heard that she was the one that kept a lot of people from talking about any black issues, from any black agendas. Those were things that Barack Obama didn't talk about. Boyce Watkins mentioned something that was very important. He stated that somehow Barack Obama was doing an interview and they had asked him directly about what was his plans on reparations. And immediately Obama got angry and they cut off the interview.
Yep, he cut off the interview.
He walked out.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. As a matter of fact, come to think about it, Valerie Jarrett's from Chicago, and Valerie Jarrett, along with Obama, down there when Obama was a senator and a state rep, had a lot to do with getting rid of public housing for black people in Chicago. Valerie Jarrett, I think they were called the Taylor Housing Project. They spurred a whole lot of gentrification in Chicago as well. So I know who Valerie Jarrett is. Yeah. So, but yeah, Valerie Jarrett, she's a Jewish lady. She had a lot of pull. As a matter of fact, she was like his advisor.
She's black. I don't know about her being Jewish.
I give you a whole rundown on her. I'm not gonna get into it tonight, but I'll bring you more information on her. Where she come from?
I don't know about that one. But okay, well, I know that she was the one. I think she may be part of. I know she was the woman that Roseanne got fired over because Roseanne called her a monkey. Roseanne, yeah, of course. I don't like Roseanne, but yeah, she got fired as a result of that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Roseanne Barr also said in the interview when she had, I didn't know the woman was Jewish. She said, because I'm Jewish. That's what she said. Roseanne Barr said that, but I'm not getting, I'm just saying that Valerie Jarrett, Barack Obama, I mean, look.
Well, I mean, even look at Rahm Emanuel, who was with. Look at Rahm Emanuel, too.
Yeah, Sharpton going to the White House is like, okay, what are you here for? Oh, but you go back out there and tell those Negroes to get in line. But then again, when you was on that Zoom call with Joe Biden, he put you in line. So who's zooming who here, as Aretha Franklin would say, huh? Right?
Yeah. And you know what's fun? Yeah. What's funny about that too, Bernard, is that all of those people on that call, most of them were damn near even Joe Biden's age. Al Sharpton is in, got to be in his early 60s, if I'm
I
not
think it's
mistaken.
64,
And
65.
okay, but they had Cedric Richmond, who's a young guy. Mark Morial, I know Morial was the mayor of New Orleans. He wasn't that great here, and a few other people on that call still. Some of them, and I don't know if Clyde Murray was on that call, but still, Clyde Murray even in particular, because he's the one that got Biden the got him the South Carolina primary, got him the nomination. And in truthfulness, so the only reason why Biden secured the nominations was uh, a lot of people dropped out of the race.
That's right.
You know, remember, Kamala Harris was the first to go, then Cory Booker, and then uh, Buttigieg. Nobody wanted Buttigieg because, in truthfulness, a lot of people do not like the idea. I don't think of having a homosexual president or vice president. There are people who wouldn't vote for that. It's not me being homophobic or whatever term you want to use, but I just think that as a fact, people wouldn't vote for something like that. Yet alone if he had to go, let's say, to Saudi Arabia or Iran or any other Muslim country, you know, they would not tolerate that.
It's mighty interesting you say that because Joe Biden just told Nigeria you need to loosen up your anti gay laws, and
Right.
they told him to go to hell. But Ghana has told him basically we're not for this neither. He said, well, we're going to
Right.
try to pass sanctions on you.
Well, that's the same thing that Barack Obama did when he was president. A lot of people don't know this. For instance, there is a Muslim terrorist group called Boko Haram that is out in Nigeria. I have this documented from a website. You can go look this up and research this. This was from about 5 or 6 years ago. Uh, a congressman actually testified. Well, he didn't testify, but he gave an interview with LifeSite News stating that the United States had information about this terrorist group that they could have provided not only intel but support to the Nigerian Christians that were out there into the country of Nigeria, but they refused to do so and refused to render aid as a result of their stance against homosexuality and abortion. See what they do with these nations because they've been, suffering from colonialism, years of colonialism. They've had corruption in their governments. They've had famine and so forth. All of those things that have gone on, they depend for other nations to render aid to them. And so the United States, like they always do with other nations, they took advantage of that and tried to push that onto them. But those people, they could, you know, those people, you could have even if they don't have running water or roads in which to drive on, they would never ever put their spirituality last. They will never give up God. Those people could care less. When Barack Obama even threatened Tanzania and Kenya with sanctions, I remember the Kenyan president saying, "You can choose to serve who you want, but we serve God," and told him, "Don't bring that here." The Kenyan president actually told Barack Obama, "Keep it to yourself." The Ugandan president even said that, "Respect our views, even if they don't
Yep.
disagree, they don't align with yours. We have a right to believe what we want." Now, I may not be in favor, and I'm not of people being murdered or killed because of their sexuality, but I also know that this is and we don't have that here in the of course, in the United States, anything like that would happen, they go to jail for that. But I also know that the United States does business with dozens of countries. We do, like for instance, Saudi Arabia, they have death penalties on homosexuals. Saudi Arabia is our allies, right? They throw them off of a building, or they'll stone them to death. Like, they don't
Well,
tolerate that.
Well, this is what I'm going to say with I'm going to say something about the guy but the policy they see that this is the policy now they're trying to allow 25,000 immigrants asylum, which is going to go give a direct correlation to more black unemployment, by the way. Okay, that's another thing that's about to
Hmm.
happen. So the floodgates are about to open. But a lot of
In the
governors,
middle of a pandemic
Florida,
at that too, Bernard.
I know Florida. It was a thing though that Obama opened up in 2012. I think they did in New York called the Office of New Americans, where they were talking about basically giving every opportunity to new Americans.
Hmm.
DACA, STEM programs, everything. So it's just a continued policy, but they had to ramp it up. And by the way, they are putting children back in cages too. They call them overflow facilities now. So they I mean they're just running the same nonsense. I would say this though, more people know, hey, these guys about to rip some hell, and people better get ready, because you're gonna have joblessness, and you're gonna have really I tell you with the gun bill, you might have you talking about social justice or criminal justice. You talking about you if they try to pass that, you're gonna have more felons than a lot who ain't done nothing. That's
Well, what I don't get to, if you look at these stimulus packages that they're passing, I think in one of the mentions of the bills, they want to provide ammunition and to a couple of foreign nations. I can't name them at this time. I don't know uh, if it's Afghanistan or Pakistan, one of those. But whatever it is, they want to provide that for other groups, but nothing for us. They want to take away your rights here in the United States, but give more to those other nations. Why? It's a way of bribing them. It's a way because, again, like I said, again, most of these nations, they depend on aid from other countries to give to them. And the United States, like I'm sure even other superpowers, I'm sure they have an interest in foreign elections. I'm sure, and I know for a fact, other nations like China, they send their spies here to the United States. Same thing with Russia, and vice versa. Israel, United States, same thing. They all do it. And they need to not call it a stimulus package, but really just call it a spending package because they're spending monies on other groups. They're not spending it on American citizens. It's not a COVID relief bill. We're talking about $1,400 that they're still fighting over to send to people. See, a lot of people thought Biden was going to change all this and all of this was going to be taken care of. What do they have to say now? Because I'm seeing them fighting over whether you should get $1,400. Republicans saying, well, you should get $1,000. And keep in mind, all of this money is your money. This is not their money. This is our money. This is our monies. This is our tax dollars. And they were able to spring it like that. So they have the money if they wanted to spend things and give the American people enough money, regardless of what their socioeconomic status is. Because let's face it, everybody has been impacted by this virus, by COVID-19. We've been forced to stay home for months on end, and yet some people were not even able to qualify to get a stimulus package. My parents couldn't qualify for it. I know other people who weren't qualified for it because it's based off of your bracket. What happened to Biden saying he was going to give didn't he say something to the effect everybody was going to get a stimulus check?
yeah, but you know he
Didn't he
was
say
lying
that?
though. You know he was lying though.
Yeah, he's lying, or he's lying, or he's got dementia, whatever it is. So I have I have no faith in this presidency. I certainly don't think that we're going to see any. We haven't seen any change, and people may want to use that. Well, he just been in office for 1 month. Listen, all politicians, whether it's Democrat or Republican, left wing, right wing, it's part of the same bird. It's the same big bird, man. We need independence. You know, you need people in there that are independents, that aren't tied to these corporate interests, because that's who's running the country.
Yep. Let
That's
me
who's
say
running the
something.
country.
Let me say something because I thought about you last night. I was in a bar passing some cards around, right? And there were like 8 women at the table with red and white on. But guess what the shirt said? Chucks and pearls. Really?
If
Yeah.
it's red and white, that's deltas.
Well, yeah, it's fine, but they're all in chucks and pearls. Look like they're having a little birthday party. And I thought to
Yeah.
myself, I said, this is what me and Gavin were talking about. Symbolism, no substance. Now,
Hmm.
um, okay, Kamala Harris released a statement on Twitter the other day, and she said we must combat xenophobia against Asian people and Asian immigrants. She put this on Twitter.
I
Now,
saw that.
I'm thinking about the Chucks and Pearls girls. The woman you trying to say you represent? Don't give a damn about you. She talking about Asians. So what are we talking about here? I mean, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
curious.
Well, she. Well, listen. This is what we all said was going to happen. She's made it abundantly clear, bluntly clear, that she is an Asian American first. Or really, she's a white woman first. Uh, she identifies as an Asian American. I've seen her videos talk about it all the time. The only time she identifies as black is when she's pandering for votes, whether she's on the Breakfast Club talking about smoking weed, listening to Snoop and Tupac, or when she's, when her own father called her out for lying. And on top of that, when she gets in office and we see that executive order that Biden signed, uh, you don't think that she is the main influence behind that? I thought, according to Roland Martin, I thought you're not supposed to. You can't pass anything based on race, based off what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said, but it's clear he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, right?
No,
So
he's just caping. He's just caping.
he's he's a freaking jerk.
You know what, man? I would
He's a
love. You
jerk.
know what I would love to do, man? I really would love to go on Roland Martin's channel and expose the hell out of Roland Martin, but he probably cut me off.
Bit, 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 bit. You're ignorant ass, but no, don't even need to be on here. Bit, 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 bit. I'm getting biscuits. Like what he told Richard Spencer. No, first off, I'm a man. No, no, no. I'm a man. I'm a biscuit. I'm a bagel. I'm a bowling ball. I'm a pot
Yeah,
roast. I,
because I look at him.
I don't want to spend too much time on it because I don't want to spend too much time talking about him. But the point is that dude doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's not a lawyer. These idiots who get up here and they want to attack us, those that are offering, coming from the streets, us that have a degree of education. Sean James even did a video about it and said he was bootlicking, which is essentially what he did. He does, and what's funny is he's complaining about us saying they can't give us money, but wasn't he complaining about how the government hasn't been giving enough funds and monies to black media, and he was begging for that? Didn't he also say, wait, he did. Hasn't he also been on YouTube and Facebook because he can't get back a job back on CNN after he made those quote unquote homophobic comments about the Super Bowl commercial? MSNBC doesn't want him as a full time correspondent, but yet he's complaining about people who are on YouTube.
Hey, you know what? You know what's mighty funny with him though? He did something that got me. That
What's that?
when he said that, I was kind of thinking about him because when he said that comment about he said the other day, Roland Martin was a big detractor of the platinum plan that Trump passed out, but he never was a detractor of the Biden plan, which was actually significantly less than Trump's plan. Actually, Biden's plan had a lot of things in there when you realized it had so many other things in there. You were like, well, this was for black people. I need to know what we're talking about. And Roland Martin was a big detractor of that, but now he's saying, well, they have to put it in underserved groups and underserved communities and stuff like that. So he's a big time hypocrite. He just fronting off.
He's trying to get a new job. That's essentially what he's trying to do. He's like, I got them Negroes in check.
Well, I hate to tell.
I'm in line. I'm in line of checkers.
Well, I hate to say this, but those guys are not gonna have them in jobs. No, they don't. They don't hold no weight no more. They know it. They
None of
lost.
those guys do.
They lost 17 seats in the
Remember this,
House.
Bernard, too. Well, remember this, Bernard, too. When
How you like this comment?
I remember
How you
when
like that?
Oh, well, no doubt. That's a big one. That's true too. But I just think I think it is more or less that he's essentially boss nigga. That's what he is. That's what he thinks he is. He thinks he goes around and his job is to keep the slaves in check. You know, him, and it's not just him, but you know, some of the others that are in media that I can't think of. Definitely, what was it, Joy Reid? You know, she talks down about black men, and I think
She's
she's
an
got,
immigrant too.
you know, yeah. And you know, I don't traditionally even go on that. I go on how a person, what a person is morally speaking, where are their morals.
I got you.
But I know, and I'm not foolish that there are people. Well, I'm not foolish that there are people who are in this world that don't like, you know, especially that come from, you know, the continent of Africa in different countries, and they don't look at Black Americans as one of their own or cousins. I mean, frankly, I just saw something that D. Tubman put out a video from an old movie called Sugar Hill, where Wesley Snipes and Michael Wright were two brothers that were in the drug business, and they were doing stuff with this African, and apparently the African made a comment about we can't do business with these pickers, and he's like, what do you mean? I'm paraphrasing. He's like, what do you mean pickers? You know, he's talking about cotton pickers, Black American, and Wesley Snipes beat the shit out of him. Roly Pookie Roland thought he was going to the White House for them Grand Biscuits as a journalist. However, he's still eating Popeyes.
Wow. Hey man, that's what he's eating, man. He is getting, you know, he
He
is
is
getting
eating more than
rather,
that.
he is getting rather rotund, isn't he? But I
Yeah,
will say this.
I'm
But
sure
he's not.
he's disappointed about the Cajun rice and the collard greens being canceled from the Popeyes menu.
You know something though. But one thing about it, Gavin, your show is very interesting. You probably can get if you had if he wasn't propped up, you'd be getting more views than Roland because your content is more interesting than Roland. He's just a complete scammer.
I don't. Well, you know, I don't even look at that honestly, because something Queen even said. She said he doesn't have as many viewers as you know he thinks he has, or they try to push it. I remember Black Enterprise tried to say his show was watched by millions, which I know is bullshit. On that YouTube channel and Facebook, he doesn't have that number. But you know, my channel continues to grow. I don't look for it. You know, I don't look for getting numbers like over millions because the people are gonna come. If people like you, they're gonna flock to you. Uh,
That's right.
you know, despite our shortcomings with YouTube and Facebook, I get people that talk about how they watch my program all the time, how they see my stuff. So I'm just keep doing what I'm doing, and you know, YouTube I know that they mess with people's channels, they've messed with mine and others, but you can't stop the shining, as the refugee said. You can't stop the shining, Rocksteady. You can't stop the shining. Staying alive.
Well, let me ask you a question for you. I know that I got to shout out to my brother from Chicago, Fred Hampton, the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. What were your thoughts? I got to watch it, but I just asking.
Well, tomorrow, everybody who's on your channel, y'all can tune in because I'm going to do a movie review about it. Uh, I'll just give you a brief hint because I saw it. So you didn't see it yet, Bernard, or did you?
No, I haven't seen it because I'm going out of town this week and stuff like that. So it's kind of like
Okay, because it's on HBO. It's on HBO Max. You can watch it with your free trial. I thought it was overall, it was a damn good movie. Um, I don't want to give away everything because some people probably want to see it, but I do have some takeaways that I'm going to share tomorrow, and also some things that I didn't like about the film. I thought the performances were great, uh, by the actors. I thought that it was a great script in terms of writing. The performances were great, but I thought that we could have seen more about Fred, his backstory. But of course, this wasn't, they didn't make it about that. They made the William O'Neill character the central character of the film, and I'll talk about that tomorrow. But I would like to know what. Uh, and I saw Fred Hampton Jr. and I know he's a friend of yours. He actually saw the. He was a consultant on the film, but I
yeah,
don't
he
know
was.
exact, and I don't know how much. Well, I don't know how much he or his mother had an influence in the film, but I would be interesting to get his input on it.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him. I know he's been busy with his Save the Hampton House campaign and doing other stuff, but I'm gonna try to get him back on because I want to actually get his take on the movie, his input, and all that. So, um, yes, I'm gonna try to get Fred back on. I haven't talked to him in months, but I did meet him last summer in Chicago at his house, and he's a wonderful guy. I mean, he's straightforward. He come from the heart, but I really want his thoughts on this Judas and the Black Messiah movie because William O'Neill was actually the FBI informant. So that's mighty interesting. They would make a movie more about him than
O'Neill was the informant.
yeah. And
Right.
so
Well, William O'Neill was the informant, and if you watched if anybody saw the film Eyes on the Prize, that was a docu series that used to air during Black History Month on PBS. Actually, they had two-part series. One was in 1987, the other one was in 1990. And O'Neill was interviewed back in '89 on that, and shortly when that interview aired, and I'll talk about this, he killed himself by
yeah,
running into traffic.
yep, it was
Yeah.
sure did.
So yeah, well, I'm sure the guilt got to him.
Well, this is what I want, Gavin. Like I said, a lot of things going on. I know that you been putting out the work out there. You fight. I know you got a lot of things you're doing. You want me to judge the Brown show when I'm on there, and you put out a lot of good input. Thanks for the interview with Mazzaro the other night, attorney Mazzaro.
Oh, Tom
Mazzaro.
Mesereau. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
man. Tom, I'm glad you tuned in, man, because a lot of people, I hope people that watched got a lot of good insight and information from him because, he's actually one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the country. What he dealt with Cosby, like he even said on the call, he was like it was the most biased thing he was ever a part of, and I would hope people truly pay attention to that. And he very informative guy. So it was very good to have him, and I'm glad you watched.
yeah. Let me say something else. Also, I don't know.
Go
Um,
ahead.
people didn't know that. I don't know. If people saw this, but I'm. I'm a little disappointed in Jay-Z putting $24 million with the guy from Twitter, Jack Dorsey, and investing in Bitcoin, not because of that, but more so because of, okay, yeah, Jay-Z, could sometime like maybe you need to break it a little bit more to the mean, because the guy on Twitter that you helping with the Bitcoin is the same guy that's trying to censor our content. So you could have picked somebody better to get behind than the guy from Twitter. That's my thing. Just like the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't know Jay-Z dag, or I guess everything he done lately has been questionable, huh? But it is what it
Yeah,
is.
well, Jay-Z, I mean, yeah, he's got 99 problems, but that ain't one.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a
Well, but
billionaire.
go
I
ahead.
mean, yeah,
But I
billionaires
want
do what they want, man. Yeah.
well, yeah. So this is what I want to say to you. Like I said, I know you did kick a kickback tonight. Oh, by the way, you just had a 35th birthday, so that's good. I'll
Thank
turn
you.
34 on July 16th. But yeah, I'm glad that you're loyal, you getting the following, and you got a lot of stuff you got to say. So by the way, the people in the chat, like this is Gavin Rizal, G Boot 2786. Donate to him on his Cash App and subscribe to G Boot 2786. His Cash App is Gavin Rashad, $ Gavin Rashad ESQ.
That's cute. Yeah.
Yeah,
The Gavin, the GR and E in Gavin, Richard, ESQ are all caps. Just the GR and E. So yeah, man, I appreciate coming on, spending this time with you, man. If you had another comment or topic you want to talk about, we can just go ahead and discuss it.
I just I'm looking at the comments in chat, and
Yeah.
some of the comments have been
How many views do
actually
we have tonight, man?
say 29, but one person put an interesting thing: dealing with these political people is like watching Sesame Street.
I think it's like watching the WWE. It's certainly,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's putting Sesame Street. I don't like to insult Muppets, but I certainly think it's a performance, it's theater. What we're seeing, I think that you're going to see eventually in the next coming months. Black people think that they dodged a bullet by getting rid of Donald Trump, but you haven't. And we're already seeing we're going to be pushed further and further into a permanent underclass. And we're going to see a benign neglect policy like we've never seen before. Biden is continuing the principles and philosophies of Obama, but even worse. He's a moderate and he does not, unlike a lot of people think that they've gotten a better deal here, but honestly, Biden is going to make it a whole lot worse because we're going to fall back to sleep. Shortly, some people are starting to wake up. That's a great thing, but I think that too many of us, unfortunately, there's no hope. The
hey, you know
flood,
what I say,
the
brother?
flood is
Right?
coming, and the doors to the ark are closed.
Yeah. This person, Davita Jenkins put up. I'm disappointed with Jay-Z protecting that shield called the NFL, bypassing college traffic, and entertaining the weekend. Jay-Z is raggedy. Well, one thing about it, I had to take my nephew home during that time, so I didn't even watch um, the halftime show. So it's pretty good. I didn't because I probably
It
would
was
get.
whack.
Well, the whole look. Well, one thing about the Super Bowl ratings were down anyway, and it wasn't that good to start off with because the game ended up being a blowout. So, you know. Um.
Yeah, well,
Also, Miss
yeah, well, the
Dawson,
officials
who's
were
been
too
on a
involved
program
in the
with us.
game.
Well, Miss Dawson, who's been on program, said facts, Gavin. Read it. We have not dodged a bullet and get rid of Trump. He is treating he's treating is like Obama did, treating us like Obama did. Which means basically you get nothing. You get nothing but empty symbols, gestures, and immigration, LGBTQ. Hey, that's what you get. And actually, with Biden, it's probably gonna be worse because we're gonna start seeing more black men in dresses and stuff. I mean, Lil Nas X is going with the breast implants. Oh yeah, everybody to really get. You thought you didn't see it now. Actually, to tell you the truth, you can start seeing men and women's sports too. So that's gonna be another little goodie for you. So they going back to that.
Yeah.
They about to turn this thing up
Yeah. Well,
full circle.
yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, most definitely, and I'm seeing that now. I'm seeing that now with Biden. You know, with the executive orders he signed, especially with the transgenderism stuff. A lot of people are, but I also see a lot of people clapping back at it too. So
Well, that's good. That's another thing. And I think the governor of Florida told Biden to go fuck yourself. So that's pretty good. Some people are fighting back. Now one thing a lady texted me earlier today. This was very interesting. She asked me, well, I think I said she said the working class with Biden is screwed. Media, big tech, and everybody else wins. The working class is screwed. I said, yeah, you're right. And then she came back and made another comment, which is very interesting. And I told her, well, the people that supported and they have to deal with that part of being screwed. But I also let her know that it's a lot of people that know what's going on, know what happened, and about to push back. And you start seeing pushback never before. Even in other countries, people are pushing back. So that's another thing that's very interesting. Hit me up in a private chat here. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine, brother. Ain't no problem. But yeah, yeah, just say that. So but just in the context of that, yeah, we do have a lot of issues, but a lot of people don't know this is going to be a little bit more deeper than what happened last time. You saw it on Obama, you can see it more. I mean, like they've been talking about police violence and stuff. Or they might
yeah,
just start covering this stuff up again. But they bring it up during election year, but now it's over. I thought that police reform bill was gonna happen. No, you're not getting that neither. That's just another charade. But yeah, but is any last words for you, Gavin, before you leave?
yeah. I will just say first off, thank you for having me on. Thank you to your listeners and your viewers. I appreciate it. Please join me on channel GBoo2786 if you have not subscribed, and check out the show tomorrow at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. I will be doing a review of Judah and the Black Messiah. Spoiler alerts.
All right, brother. Well, it's always a pleasure having you, man. Thanks for being a supporter and listener. And when I get back, tell you the report.
All right, brother.
All
You
right,
be
brother.
safe and you take it easy, man. Much success to you.
You too, brother.
All right. I'm about to, yeah, I'll talk to you a little bit later. I might be, let me give the judge a call in a second. So,
Yes, yes, sir. Take your time.
all
All
right.
right now.